Welcome back everybody and welcome to NKLA stock. NKLA stock today is up by around 10% and there is a reason for that which we're going to get into in a moment, but just have a look at that move there. So we saw a massive push up in the morning and actually for the majority of the day we just saw that move stabilize. Like from the highs that we saw in the morning, which were around 115, we've seen the stock almost sit completely still. Towards the end of the day we saw stock from that point go up by only 0.8% and looking into the after hours we can see the stock started to drop a little bit, but again only by only by 2 cents really, so not too much of a drop considering. Over the past 5 days, NKLA stock has actually been doing fairly well. If we'd have caught the low over at Monday, I believe, you would have bought in at 104, which means that if you'd have sold out today, you'd have made a 12% rise. Honestly, not bad. But over the past month, the story for NKLA hasn't been so entertaining. 146 was where we started the 30-day period on. We saw lows from there which took us all the way down to a point around 95 cents, so just under $1, which means that you'd have made substantial losses of 34%. However, buying in at that point would have made you about 22% in returns. Anyway, I guess the moral of the story is NKLA is one of those companies, especially at the minute, where the stock price is quite volatile. We all know the history of this company, it has been quite infamous, however it looks like things are going okay at the moment. And this is further compounded by the figures that we've seen coming out from NKLA. So of course the date today is the 2nd and that is the date of publish for this document. You can see NKLA Corporation reports its third quarter 2023 results. So, during the third quarter, of course the last couple of months, NKLA raised $250 million, increasing unrestricted cash by $136.2 million and tripling unrestricted cash since 2023 quarter one. So not too bad if we're honest. Now, obviously on top of that, we see that NKLA continues to see strong demand for NKLA zero-emission semi-trucks propelled by regulation and incentive tailwinds. So that's interesting too, and we'll of course break down all of this in a moment, but let's get through the main information first. So we can see other important stuff related to how the company is working, such as dealers continuing to submit HVIP applications for the battery electric truck. And again, to date, NKLA and their dealers have received 277 non-binding orders from 35 customers for hydrogen fuel cell trucks. Hydrogen fuel cell electric demos started in Southern California using mobile fueler and third-party fueling assets. So, obviously that's just a quick rundown of some of the figures here. You can see we've got a huge document as you'd expect. I definitely think that it's worth giving it a full run through in your own time. However, we're not going to break down the figures too much here, but you can see the point, you can see the financial details for how NKLA is moving, the expected and obviously the figures that we actually received. You can find all that information fairly easily. What we're seeing with NKLA though is something which is quite substantial. I mean, what you must note is that realistically, this company's been seen as one of the ones where a lot of people don't think it's going to go anywhere. I mean, we have market leaders like Tesla who are, potentially experimenting into expanding into the world of trucks, but the point is people don't think there's much of a potential for A, NKLA, and B, the potential of hydrogen electric vehicles. However, the things that we've seen in that report, such as potential orders coming in, is a good sign. And obviously it's not amazing, it's not massive, but we're talking about a stock which is down a lot over the past year, a stock which is down a lot over the past 5 years. Is NKLA a good buy? I definitely think it is a risky buy, I would say that. However, I must say as well that this stock is down from where it was obviously a couple of months ago, and on top of that the lows that we've seen are around 90 cents or so like looking at the wide scale, we're closer to the bottom or the traditional bottom than we have been in the past. Now, with that being said, I don't necessarily think NKLA's the potential investment to make huge amounts of money in a short period of time. I think it is also one of those stocks where we could see it sit flat for the considerable future. So if I was looking to get into NKLA, I'd be aware of two things. The first one is the volatility potential with this stock. Again, we've seen it jump up by 250% since June of 2023 all the way to August, yet from August up until now we've seen the stock down by 65%. It clearly moves a lot like that. I'd also be aware of, on the grand scale, we're not actually moving too much, and the potential to see those moves increase in the future it isn't guaranteed. So whilst the figures that we're seeing from NKLA today are great, I'd be looking at this one as a high risk investment or a short term trade. I definitely keep my eye on it, and I personally wouldn't be buying tomorrow. I think it is definitely possible that we could see this stock decline a little bit tomorrow, not necessarily because the news is bad, because of course it's not, but with a 10% run and a stock like this, it's uncertain whether we're going to be able to sustain even that 10% rise. So, NKLA, I think it's one of those companies where if I was to invest in it, it'd be a small position and it'd be acknowledged as a high risk position. I, of course, do see both sides of the coin, though, how it could be a potentially great company if things go well. But obviously, on the other hand, we got to actually manage our risk properly, so it is a bit of a tough one. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, of course, don't forget to like it and subscribe, and I do hope I'll see you in our next video where we break down another stock. Thank you, and see you soon.